Hi, welcome to the I Am Her podcast. I am one of the hosts, Abigail, and today we are going to be talking about the art of balance. And the art of balance is something that I really want to talk about because in this day and age, everyone is all about locking in and being super productive and just like go, go, go. And I'm also all about locking in, and I love that. But too much of anything is bad. And I think you can get lost in a spiral of quote unquote locking in, and it can be too much to the point where you're losing other parts of yourself and parts of your life because you're so focused on just trying to be perfect all the time and doing what you need to do. And I think doing so much of something is harmful. Like I said, too much of anything is bad. Like too much sugar is bad, too much working out is bad. You could get injured. There is two sides to everything. And it can be so harmful to be focused on trying to be perfect all the time that you lose yourself and nothing will ever be good enough for you because all you want is to be perfect and reach this end goal. But the truth is, there is no end goal because once you reach the destination, you are always going to want to find the next best thing or the next goal. And it's hard to kind of sit back and enjoy where you are because we are so worried about where we're going. But you will look back and miss certain times of your life. Like I look back at a lot of times in my life and I'm like, actually, that was really good. And I didn't like sit back and enjoy it. We take little things for granted so much. I wish every day that I could go back to when I was not disabled and I could run and dance because when I was in that moment, I took it for granted and I didn't even think twice about what I was doing because it was just the normal. But one day it's not going to be the normal. And one day, we're going to be old. We're not going to be able to run and dance and be with our friends like we used to. Just like how a lot of times we look back on high school or junior high and we're like, wow, I miss when I could hang out with my friends every single day and not worry about finances and my goals, money. And when I wasn't so busy that we had to schedule hangouts like months in advance because I don't know about you guys, but I miss those days all of the time. And that's why we have to take a look of where we are right now. And we need to make sure that we are enjoying life because life is so beautiful and there is so much to offer. And there is so much beauty in the now, in the present moment. Um, so when we're just constantly trying to be perfect and worrying about the next best thing, we're not even thinking about where we are and we're kind of just rushing by. And I think that's really sad because we only get one life. I don't want to rush through my life. I don't want to just keep going, going, going because till I reach the end, because the end is death. Like that's the only inevitable thing in life is that we are going to die. Like we're going to die. So we might as well live our lives and make a beautiful life because we only get one. Um, And balance is actually a lot healthier than going so far into one direction. For example, when it comes to like working out, of course you want to work out and move your body, and that's super important for your health, but it's also important to listen to your body because if you work out too much, you can get injured and you can, lose your period. A lot of things can happen that can cause a lot of problems. And so that's why, you have to take rest days. You have to eat healthy, but you don't always have to eat healthy. It's important to also, live your life and go out with your friends and go out for drinks, go out for dessert and ice cream because you only get one life. You don't want to look back at your childhood or your teenage years or young adult years and be like, I missed out on so many opportunities because I was just so focused on trying to be healthy. And the same goes for like working. Of course, we all have to work and it's important to work hard and we need money. And a lot of times, a lot of people do not have the option to even stop working or take days off because, that's our society and it really fucking sucks. But at the same time, if you are able to, and if you have the means to, you know, don't work your life away. Life is also about play and you need to have the fun and the whimsy and the play to work hard. If you never take a break from work and you're just a workaholic who that's all you're doing, you're going to get burned out. Like you will 100% get so burned out from that. But if you take the time to rest your body and to do what lights you up inside, do your hobbies and do the things you love, hang out with your loved ones and your friends, you will go back to work rejuvenated. I mean, that's why we have the weekend. And I personally think the weekend is not long enough. Like, I think we need an extra day, and I stand by that. And if I ever become president, which I would never do that, I would add another weekend day. And I am someone who's like, I'm all for, taking days off. Like, if you need a day off, literally take it off. Like, I personally do not want to look back and be like, oh, I just worked and worked. And like I said, I think that's a very privileged thing of me to say, but because there are so many people who it's like, we don't have the option, we have to work. But if you are able to take breaks, I think it's really important to do so because, yeah. And I think balance in itself, you have to make sacrifices because you can't always have like a perfect balanced life. There's always going to be something that's going a little too much or something that, we're lacking in. But it's kind of impossible to like manage our health, our jobs, our hobbies, our friendships, our social life, finances all at once. I think that a lot of times, you have to kind of pick and choose certain priorities. And of course, over time, your priorities are going to shift because let's say you're focused on work and your health. If you're going to work and then after the work you go to the gym, you don't really have a lot of time to hang out with your friends. So your social life might falter just a little bit. And that's okay because then let's say a few months pass by, your priorities kind of shift. You are, doing shorter workouts and then you get to go hang out with your friends. It's just what is best for you. And every phase of our life is going to be different, and we are going to have different priorities and different things that are important to us throughout every phase. We're not always going to be perfectly balanced. That's impossible. But it's just about listening to you and what you need and setting proper boundaries so you aren't saying yes to a bunch of things that drain you and that make you, lose the light out of you, that drain all your energy. And I don't know. I think you need to listen to yourself and what it is that you really want because it's your life and you get to live it and you get to choose your priorities and your values and what means the most to you. And life is all about exploring what we want and what makes us happy. So take that time to explore and to rest and be bored so you know what it is you want. Because if you're constantly busy, you don't have the time to sit back and reflect and be like, you know what? This is what makes me happy. These are the people that I love. These are the people I like spending my time with. If you're just completely rushed and going full force constantly, you don't have time to even realize who you are to an extent. And that's why we need to take breaks. And, even nature does not bloom all year long. Like, why, if nature doesn't bloom all year long, then why are we expected to? We should not have that expectation because that's an impossible expectation. Like, we need periods of rest and recovery so that we can bloom and so that we can be rejuvenated and do the things that we need to do. Breaks and rest is so important, and you do not need to earn rest. You are a living human being. Rest is productive and rest is a part of your life. And that is literally the fuel that is going to help you achieve your goals and achieve your dreams. Like, every person needs to rest in order to get back out there and get back to the workout, get back to your friends, to everything. We need it like we need food and water. And I think a lot of times people forget that it is just as much important as any of our other needs. It's just like this analogy. Let's say you get sunburned and you keep going outside every single day and your sunburn is just getting worse and worse and worse. But you're like, well, I really want to tan. I just want to tan. Okay, you're not going to tan because you're burning your skin to an absolute crisp. So it's just going to peel right off. And that's not the healthiest. You're causing a lot of damage to your skin. I think that's just how life is. The more damage you cause, it is harder to get back into. No, that's just how life is. I think that goes for anything. You need to take breaks from things, and you need to take time to heal. Take time to heal your body, take time to heal your mind, your social battery, all of it. And I hate to give a sincere metaphor. If you watch Love Island, then you know what I mean. But see, sincere needs to be balanced in his metaphors. You can't be saying metaphors constantly 25/8. Anyway, life is meant to be fun, and I think that life should be fun, full of fun memories, and not looking back and you were just working out. I personally went through a time recently where I was very unbalanced, and I was kind of focused on taking care of my body, but I actually was treating my body horribly, and I was causing so many problems for myself because I would work out and I would never take a rest day ever. And people would tell me, and I'd be like, no, like I can't take a rest day or I'm going to be lazy, which is crazy because I caused a lot of harm to my body, and now I'm paying the price, and it's taking me a long time to get my health back and to fix my relationship with exercise and food because I didn't take the time to rest my body and take care of myself. And the same goes with eating. I was not eating enough because I was like, oh, well, I'm trying to lose weight. And that I took it way too far. It's just like that with anything. And another thing that I think is very common is, saying yes to everything. And then you're just so drained. For me, when I say yes to my friends, of course, I love hanging out with them, but when I'm doing it every single day, all day, I'm just not that type of person who can constantly be social. I'm more of a person who likes to be by myself a little bit. I love being social and I go through phases, but I definitely need my me time, and I definitely need days just to myself to relax, because when I'm not and I'm just going, I will be so drained to the point where I'm not fun when I'm hanging out with my friends because I'm just so exhausted. And it's like at that point, I might as well stay home because we're not going to have a good time if I'm just like completely drained. And that's nothing against the people that I'm hanging out with. Of course, I love hanging out with them, but I just know me, and I know that I need time for myself. And if I don't take that time, I am breaking boundaries with myself, and I'm kind of showing myself like, you don't need rest, you're fine. But that's not the truth. I want to take care of myself, and we all should want to take care of ourselves and do what is best for us, because at the end of the day, we need to take care of our vessel, and not just our body, but we need to take care of our mind and our soul and our energy, because our energy is so, so sacred. And if we are just spending it on things that drain us and we're not taking care of it, that's going to show. It's going to show up in different ways, whether that's externally, internally. And at the end of the day, we all want to feel peaceful and happy and fulfilled. And I think it's really hard to feel fulfilled and proud of yourself for working so hard if you're constantly just going to the next thing, because I think that's really unrealistic. And like I said, just like the trees, like their leaves are going to fall and they're going to take a break, and then summer comes and then they're going to bloom again. We are the same way. We go through phases. Just like if you don't sleep and you're like, well, I need to work, I need to get my stuff done, so I'm just going to not sleep. You are going to go crazy and you're going to be delusional. That's a stupid example, but we need to take the time for ourselves, and not even just sleeping, but reading, doing the things that make us happy and remind us why we like being alive, and remind you, oh, this is why being alive is so much fun, because it is supposed to be fun. And I think a lot of two things can be true at once. You don't have to be just focused in on one thing. For example, like let's say you're healing from a breakup and you're heartbroken. You can be heartbroken and healing, but you can also be social and creating a new life for yourself at the same time. It doesn't have to be just one way. Life is not black and white. And I think there is gray area in everything. And I think the internet and social media kind of makes things black and white. Like something that like comes to mind is cancel culture for me. Like someone will say something or they said something years ago, and yeah, it's not okay, but then the internet kind of just deems that person as a bad person. And I don't think that's true. I think that we all have said things, we all do things that are wrong, but that doesn't make us bad people. Our mistakes do not define us, and we are still good people. We still can be good people. And it doesn't, I'm not saying to excuse bad behavior, but life has balance. People are multifaceted, like multifaceted. We all have our flaws, and we all are going to mess up and make people mad, and people are going to make us mad, but that's a part of life. And like I said, life is not black and white. Two things can be true at the same time. You can be working towards a goal, but also taking care of yourself. You don't have to just be hustling. Like, you deserve to be taken care of as well, and you deserve to be loved. You do not have to earn love. Like, just existing, just by you existing, you deserve to be loved, and you are loved. And so I want you to remember that you are not a machine. We are human beings. We are not AI. We are not robots. Like, we are going to have different phases and emotions where we need to take care of ourselves. And sometimes that means going to the gym, and sometimes that means staying home. Sometimes that means going out with your friends because you need to get out of the house and you need to get out of a slump. And sometimes that means saying no to an event because you just need to read your book or paint or do whatever it is that you need to do. I want you to ask yourself what you need and take moments and take pauses throughout the day and see how you feel when you're doing things. See how you feel when you rest, and take note of what your body needs and when it needs it, because life is life is a classroom. We are just trying to learn, and I think it's important to learn about our bodies and our minds and learn more about ourselves throughout this process and what it is that we like and what makes us happy and what drains us, because that is the key to living a happy and fulfilled life. It's not being famous or having a certain amount of money. It's achieving happiness is our goal. And I think having a balanced life is the first step to being happy, because you're taking proper care of yourself. Honestly, I feel like I explained everything so bad, but I hope that you understood it. And I'm sorry if this was like so chaotic and out of so out of place. I'm I don't even know. But thank you for listening if you did make it this far. And I hope you remember that you are not a machine, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to rest. It's not a reward, it's productive, and it's a necessity. And I love you guys so much, and I hope you have the best week ever.